Episode 6. All of Hero's muscles froze at once as Popeye let out a yelp, a mix of terror and pain. The sun was all the way up now, but dulled and obscured by a thick cotton layer of gray clouds stretched out in all directions. Hero looked down to see that he had stepped on Popeye's long fur-matted tail as the dog waited for him on the near side of a massive fallen tree. His second reaction was to jump back from the dog, but his boots slipped on the snow-covered grass, his legs scrambling wildly like an anime from one of the grams that seemed to loop on the scroll. As he landed flat on the backpack, all the air thumped from his lungs as his neck snapped back. The half-whimper, half-howl he let out sounded a little too much like Popeye's. He rolled onto his side, curled into a C, using his sleeve arm as both a pillow and a wipe, clearing the tears in his eyes. Not stopping to consider whether they were a result of having the wind knocked out of him, the fear of his current situation, or a little dosing of each. His eyes traced the great wall of round wood where the dog circled, waiting for him to heft his weight off the ground. He thought about staying down, just giving up here, but the ground snow had weaseled to where his close-cropped russet hair exposed his neck, and he rolled onto his also cold hands and the padded knees of his tech pants. Hero started to sob until Popeye shoved his head underneath the arch of Hero's body and began to lick his face. "Ase! Hero yelled at Popeye, but the dog didn't stop. Finally, using his arms to both push himself up and the dog away, Hero swayed to face the enormous fallen tree, and after a few steps looking left, and then the same to the right, he gave in to the obvious. Popeye lifted his nose directly ahead at the top of the 2-meter-high obstacle, as if confirming it. This is the way. Given the slick coat of snow on the wood and Hero's awareness of his uncoordinated incompetence, the task of getting over the log seemed Herculean, but after a closer look, there appeared to be decent handholds just below his shoulder level, and the arch over the log at that particular spot seemed a little less slippery, as if the snow had been cleared from it earlier. After tossing the sack of dough to the top, it took him 4 tries, but he was finally able to prop himself up and press onto the top of the fallen log. Popeye yelped wildly from the ground, no chance of making it up onto the giant tree trunk. Hero looked down at the dog, but not long enough for any contemplation or decision. He swung his legs around to the other side and hopped down onto the continuation of the narrow path onward. His eyes caught the glint of a credit chip on the ground ahead of him, a dull shine above the backdrop of dusted snow. Throwing the backpack over his shoulder, he knelt carefully to pick it up. Popeye's frantic barking from the other side of the tree faded away as Hero walked on.